the wrestling snob Adam Lavelle, the Pro Wrestling Noah Network. Please subscribe. Not for me. I'm never going to have thousands of fans on a Pro Wrestling Noah channel. And that's no slight to Pro Wrestling Noah. It's just a niche product, at least here in the United States, at least for some time, I would suggest. But I like it that way because the niche product that Pro Wrestling Noah is my kind of product. It is my kind of professional wrestling. It is wrestling done right. So come on, give a subscription. It ain't going to take nothing to do that. I won't bug you. I'm not going to spam you. I don't get your email information. Just subscribe to the channel, please. I'm begging you. I would at least like to get to 400 sometime soon. Can we do that? Anyhow, I'm here to look at Sunny Voyage from March 9th, 2025. That happened earlier this morning. I did not stay up to watch it live, but I did just finish watching it here at noon in Pennsylvania. Good old USA Eastern Standard Time. Let's jump right into it because I don't like to waste your time here at the IIWC, the Intelligent Internet Wrestling Community, the home of Wrestling Done Right. Go to WrestlingDoneRight.com to follow me on all my social medias. First matchup from this morning was Junta Miyawaki versus Bryce Hanson. I don't know who this Bryce Hanson kid is. I still got to look into him. I got to do my due diligence, which I've just not done yet. But his wrestling is solid. His wrestling is good. He's very enjoyable. He almost is a little bit of a throwback wrestler, if you ask me, in his style, in his presentation, if you will. Reminds me of a young Adam Page. That's who he reminds me of, a young Adam Page, if you will. Take that for what it's worth. Junta Miyawaki has been on fire. He is one half of the Junior League champions. That's why he's toting that trophy around. And I like his finishing move. I don't know what that's called, where he raises an opponent on his back with one of his opponent's arms, like braces his arm, and then drops him down hard on his shoulder, neck, and back, while slamming that arm down with him at the same time. That's the move he used to win this match against Bryce Hanson in a very good opening matchup. I thought this was very good. Bryce Hanson looks solid in the loss, and if he sticks around Noah, I could see him going places. I really could. He's a very solid worker. The second match was Shuhei Taniguchi versus Hajime Ohara versus Black Menso Ray. So you know what I did? I fast-forwarded that bitch. No offense to Taniguchi. Especially no offense to Ohara, who is one of my favorite wrestlers, especially in the junior division. He has been for years. But I'm not watching whatever in the hell Black Menso Ray is doing and what he's supposed to be. No, thank you. Shuhei Taniguchi wins with a roll-up. Whoop-de-doo. The third match saw Daiki Odashima versus the newcomer, Null. From what I understand, it's spelled K-N-U-L-L. Outside of Japan. The Japanese translation is just N-U-L-L, but the translation is the same. He is Null. And I listened to a little bit of an interview with him. He likes the name. Some people have given him the nickname, the Prince of Darkness. He says that isn't necessarily part of his name, but he doesn't mind when fans or wrestler organizations do that. But this guy is 6'9". Daiki Odashima's got to be around my height. I'm guessing 5'8", 5'9", somewhere in there, maybe 5'10" if he's stretching, if we want to push the limits as so many want to do. But this was a better match than you would expect. Odashima showed his ability to absorb punishment, and boy, did he have to absorb it here. And he dished it out as well as he could, but Noel's a big son of a bitch. He's taking everything Odashima has to give and eating it and just coming straight back. And Odashima can only put up with that for so long. There was a really cool spot where Odashima tried to gut-wrench suplex this big guy and almost got it. I mean, he had him lifted up off the canvas. He just didn't get him turned and flipped around in the suplex, but it looked good. And the fans were for him, but they seemed to healthily respect Null as everybody should. And I can't wait to see where this guy goes. He's a big son of a bitch. And I don't mean to sound like Pat McAfee here. And now the fourth match was an 8-man tag. You guys know how I feel about these matches. This wasn't bad, but 9 people, because I include the ref, 9 people in this, 16 by 16, 18 by 18 ring. Nuts. Just nuts. Very hard to even keep track of. It was Kaito Kiyomiya, Galeno, Alejandro, and Kai Fujimura. That is all Rebellion. Taking on Keno, Eita, Shuji Kondo, and Atsushi Katogi. What a mishmash team that is. Nothing against them, but that was a mishmash team of all mishmash teams, and that's probably why they went down here. Nothing much to talk about, just total chaos throughout the whole match. I'm not telling you that there's no semblance of order. The referee does all that he can, but what can one man do against 8? Very little. And this was just craziness, back and forth insanity until all rebellion stood tall at the end. The 5th match was Asuka versus Yuta Kikuchi. This was very solid. I don't want to say it was match of the night. I came close to saying that. But it was very entertaining, very good. Very, very solid here. Asuka does get the victory over Kikuchi, which he almost has to, being one half of the number 1 challengers to the junior tag titles, along with Junta Miyawaki. But it wasn't without Team 2000 butting their noses in, namely the former rock star coming out there to Tatty Daddy. Yes, that's right, Tadasuke, coming out there to butt his nose in. Really tried to interfere, really tried to, I don't know what he was trying to do, but at the end he attacked both guys. He attacked both guys with the chair, laid them both out, sat in the chair like a badass, and he did get on the mic. I don't know what he said, but I assume we're going to have a 3-way coming up between these 3. Tadasuke certainly wanting to insert himself in the tip-top levels of the junior division, and he's always been up there anyway, but now that he's a part of these badasses that just do whatever they want to do and thumb their nose at tradition, he's definitely going to want to get out there and make sure he's a big deal. And that's what he tried to do here. And we'll see how it works out for him. Next was a very good 6-man tag team match. Manabu Soya, Hayata and Yohei, the Passionate Rattels, taking on Jack Morris, Tadasuke, and Owada-san. I really like this. This and the next match was very solid. Look, we've got a solid story, a solid angle going on here with Team 2000X taking on the Passionate Rattels. It works. It's a throwback feud that I think is going to go on for quite some time. So if you don't have the patience, if you're the kind of fan that's all over American wrestling that thinks everything should be done away with or they wrestle them, this ain't going to be for you, Daddy. You know, this is not going to be for you. This is going to be a long, drawn-out, passionate feud. And the passion was here and not just in the wrestling. Manabu Soya is really upset at Tadasuke for going over to Team 2000X. He gets Tadasuke, drives into his knees, holds a Rattel shirt on him, like just over the top of his chest, and is screaming at him. I don't know what he's saying, but you know it's something like, why? What are you doing? You need to come back. Why would you go join these infidels? Why would you join these people that don't respect Puresso, that don't respect Noah? You're being worthless. And Tadasuke just nut shots him eyes down there. Tadasuke just embracing the faction that he has now joined wholeheartedly, tossing that Rattel's shirt off to the side where Owada-san caught it, spit on it, and threw it into the crowd. And that, I think that moment drove Manabu Soya over the top because he wins it here. He gets the big win, pinning Owada-san, giving the Passionate Rattels a victory over Team 2000X. Great stuff. The main event also keeping this similar theme, but not quite the same. I'm talking about the GHC champion, Ozawa, once again apparently not having the title with him. That beautiful title right up there on my right shoulder. Didn't have it on him, didn't have it with him. He teamed with Daga and Tetsuya Endo to take on Masa Kitamiya, Ulka Sasaki, and Kazuyuki Fujita. Man, those 3 are a dream team for me. Kitamiya, Sasaki, and Fujita, badass as badass gets. Now, no disrespect to Ozawa, Daga, and Endo, but I'm sorry. I sit back and let me watch these 3 wreck shop against any other 3 in all of wrestling, not just Noah. I'm talking all of wrestling, baby. Not just the best wrestling in the world, Pro Wrestling Noah. The fans ate it up watching Fujita go in there and beat the shit out of Ozawa, the current GHA champion. Watching him beat the shit out of Daga and Endo. At one point, there was a chant from the crowd, Fujita, Fujita. Man, when this guy, who most people seem to not really like all that much, becomes a face, becomes a fan favorite, things change a little bit, don't they? When they get to go in there and see how Ironhead beat the hell out of the bad guys, out of the disrespectors of Puresso, of Noah, boy, then they start singing his praises. Something I've done since way back in the day. And to make things clear, no way back in the day, however many years ago that was, 2 years, 3 years at this point, I don't recall. I don't think that Fujita should have beaten Katsuyuki. Oh, man. He shouldn't have beaten Nakajima. Looking at my notes, he's not on my notes. He's not. I love one of my favorite wrestlers of the modern era of today. I'm just blanking because I'm all hyped up on Ironhead Katsuyuki Fujita, but I'm talking about Nakajima. No, I don't think he should have lost to Fujita. Or if he did, he shouldn't have won. He should have won the belt back maybe a couple of weeks, couple months later. That's another discussion maybe I'll have sometime. But I like Fujita. I think he is kind of badass. Yes, he's old, and yes, he's Enochiism and all the shit people say about him, but he's pretty cool. He's pretty bad, and he showed it here. But in the end, it was Masa Kitamiya overcoming and winning the match. I'm pretty sure he took out Daga at the end, standing tall, getting in the face of Ozawa, who does these Hindu squats, right? He's just teasing Kitamiya because he's one of the trainers in the dojo, and Ozawa's just giving him a hard time. Oh, you're going to make me do Hindu squats for being a jackass, for being a bad guy, for being disrespectful here. I'll just sit here. I'll just stand here and do them. Fujita's not really taking the bait. He's annoyed by it, but he stood tall, giving this Saito suplex to Ozawa after the match and standing there with the microphone, I'm sure, talking about what he's going to do and how he's going to win the belt off of the disrespectful Ozawa. This was another great show. Again, Black Menso Ray hanging around, taking a little bit out of it. I'm giving this another 9 out of 10. I enjoyed it that much. I would have loved it if you took out Black Menso Ray, even though I did fast forward that. But still, he was there, and his nonsense just disgusts me. There could be worse. Thank God they don't have someone like Nia Jax hanging around, so it could be worse. I don't hate Black Menso Ray. I just don't like comedy goofiness. But at least he can work, unlike some American wrestlers who get pushed down our throats that can't. I digress. 9 out of 10. Great show, solid show. Can't wait for the next one. I'm Adam Lavelle, WrestlingDoneRight.com, the wrestling snob, the old man wrestling fan, the head of the IIWC, the Intelligent Internet Wrestling Community. And I'll be back with more discussion about the best wrestling in the world, Pro Wrestling Noah, before you know it.